Snake boxing. The forms in snake boxing are gentle but firm, and they highlight the power of flexibility. Scorpion boxing. Retreating in order to advance differentiates this type of boxing. The boxer's leg raises high in reminiscence of a scorpion's venomous tail, ready to strike at the first opportunity. Hawk boxing. With its hovering and diving movements, this form looks like a cyclone sweeping between the heavens and earth. Tiger boxing. In this form, the boxer preys upon his opponent like a tiger charging down a hill. Each movement exudes the majesty of the king of beasts. The unique incorporation of stylized animal movements into boxing reflects the way in which Shaolin Kung Fu evolved from self-defense techniques to masterful martial arts skills. Recognizing how nature inspired these forms clarifies the underlying idea of Shaolin Kung Fu, that man and nature are one. In the long process of its evolution, Shaolin Kung Fu absorbed wisdom from generations of revered Buddhist monks. According to historical records, the first abbot of the Shaolin Temple was a venerated Indian Buddhist master named Ba Tuo. Later, another Indian Buddhist master named Bodhidharma came to the Shaolin Temple to practice Buddhism. Legend has it he meditated in a cave behind the temple for 9 years, looking at nothing but the rocky interiors of the cave. One day, sudden spiritual enlightenment washed over him, and he left the cave to espouse the ideas of Chun Buddhism. Buddhists regard Bodhidharma as the founder of the Chun sect and the Shaolin Temple as the original home of this sect. As he taught Chan Buddhism in the temple, Bodhidharma found that it was difficult for the monks to sit for long periods to meditate because of their poor health. So he began teaching them some simple exercises during their breaks between meditation and studying. The improvements to their physical health and meditation were so profound that all of Shaolin Temple's subsequent abbots continued this regime, which developed into the unique form of Shaolin martial arts.
这僧人在修禅的过程中呢，身上困了、乏了，就练上几个动作，松松筋骨，逐渐的形成了动作，形成了套路。
Our hat boxing is handed down exclusively from one generation of Shaolin monks to the next. It is not only the most important technique in Shaolin Kung Fu, but it is also the most representative. The movements and strategies of our hat boxing are simple, clearly defined, and fluid, epitomizing the Shaolin Kung Fu's principle of being simple but functional. Shaolin Kung Fu embodies the quintessence of traditional Chinese martial arts, but also contains the wisdom of Chun Buddhism. It is quite a unique cultural phenomenon. The art of fighting with weapons also constitute an important part of Shaolin Kung Fu. Handling the weapons correctly requires quick and forceful movements. Shaolin weapons are classified as either long weapons, short weapons, soft weapons, or underhand weapons. The most important are the broadsword, spear, stick, and sword. There is a dazzling array of Shaolin weapons, and fighting with each kind of weapon requires a different technique. Heavier weapons call for force and steady advance, while lighter ones require agility and quick movements. Shaolin Kung Fu is well known around the world as a fierce style of martial arts, but it is not at all about the indiscriminate use of force. Instead, Shaolin Kung Fu emphasizes self-improvement and self-defense, which reflects the Buddhist principle that no life should be taken randomly in the pursuit of punishing the evil or protecting the innocent. Chun means peace of mind, so the highest level of achievement in Shaolin Kung Fu is called martial arts Chun. It means being thoroughly accomplished in martial arts without harboring any distracting thoughts. The principle of integrating the static with movement guides the practice of fighting with Chun-style meditation. The Shaolin monks usually practice their Kung Fu in tranquil places because quiet surroundings help them learn to integrate martial arts and Chun. It is the only path to the highest form of martial arts. Developing superhuman ability and gaining extraordinary wisdom are what the monks strive to achieve and are what distinguishes Shaolin Kung Fu from other schools of martial arts. Over the centuries, the Shaolin monks developed a unique spiritual practice whereby they focus on integrating themselves with nature through meditation and deep breathing. This form of meditation is the embodiment of the ancient Chinese philosophical idea that man and nature are one. two-fingered Chun is also unique to Shaolin Kung Fu. It can only be learned if one begins in childhood. Each day, the child has to do hundreds of push-ups, which eventually make his hands larger than an adult's hands. Years of practice and hard work will enable him to support himself upside down on just 2 of his fingers. This skill, which is beyond even modern-day understandings of physics, is always a crowd pleaser during performances. Soft art is another incredible subgroup of Shaolin Kung Fu. This art, which challenges the limits of the human body's flexibility, has its origins in yoga from India. People practice this art to raise their skill level and enhance their accuracy so that each strike will achieve the best effect. Only those who start practicing young boys Kung Fu will possess this physical ability to succeed at soft art. They say that practicing soft art will keep one's martial arts skills at a high level, regardless of how old he gets. This is the secret of how many revered older monks retain high levels of internal strength. Shaolin Kung Fu is being carried forward in a place that is steeped in profound Buddhist practice and ancient culture. Because of its remarkable warrior monks, the temple has become famous worldwide. Curiosity about this awe-inspiring form of martial arts and the monks who practice it draw increasing numbers of tourists to Shaolin Temple every day. Delegations of Shaolin martial art monks have been touring the world and performing Shaolin Kung Fu since the late 1980s. Their accomplishments continue to gain acceptance and appreciation from the international community. They are true ambassadors of cultural exchange between China and the rest of the world.